just how much, to show you how much I hate idle money, I'd say, be allergic to idle money. Please, I beg you. Be allergic to idle money. Be allergic to seeing big bank balances. Yeah? In 2014, I observed a very interesting opportunity in Tanzania. There was this stock that had a share price that looked like a staircase. It would be flat, then it would go up, then it stays flat for a long time, then it goes up, then flat, then it goes up. I said, I have never seen a price chart that looks like that. I asked my team, please look at the operating profit. How is the operating profit behaving? Is it like a staircase? It was like this, just growing. I said, wow. The market is taking too much time to react to what? To new information. That pricked my curiosity. Now I started investigating on the stock. And I was so convinced. It was trading at 2,000 shillings per share in the Tanzania Stock Exchange. But my valuations were coming to 10,000 plus. I'd tell the team, please slap illiquidity discount. They slap illiquidity discount. Slap all manner of discounts. It is still several times the current price. Then I said, let's do one more test. I said, because Centum is a private equity company, I said, if Centum sold all its private equity companies and took all that money and invested in this company, how much would be our share of profits? And the team came back to me and they told me, our share of profits will go up 2.2 times. I said, I don't need any further analysis. I walked to my group CEO's office. I told him, I have found an opportunity and I'm ready to put my career on the line for this one. He said, you know, you always get 99% of my approval. So tell me about the opportunity. And I explained the opportunity and he said, wow. He asked me, how much do you need to invest? I said, $20 million. IFC was selling. It was in the evening, time like this. He looked at me, he said, let's go for it. I went home very excited. Tomorrow, I'm about to execute the biggest deal of my life. Came in the morning, he called me to his office, said, Pius, you know I slept over this thing. And I said, and I thought, Tanzania is very tricky. I don't want us to lock $20 million in Tanzania. But I'll give you 800 million shillings. The rest, look for other investors to co-invest with you. I said, I'm fine with that. I spoke to investors in London. I got a very good investor in London who was more convinced than even myself. And I pumped my 800 million there. My investor in London put $150 million over 3 months. Everything that was happening in Tanzania was centered in my office, you know? And then I assumed I'm going to wait for 7 years and the dividends from this company will just be enough to give me, but I'll have all my money back in 7 years. I was estimating dividend yield of about 15% on average. So I knew 7 years, my money will be out, but I'd still have my investment there. Then, somehow, as the world will conspire, everybody seemed to have discovered the same story. We moved from 2,000 to 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, until we got to 19,000. At 19,000, I said, now I can't hold it anymore. I started what? Selling. And as I was selling, my last selling was at 14,000. That happened within 28 months. I brought back from 800 million, 3.3 billion shillings. It felt like coming from a fundraising for those who've been on fundraising, you know. And we made a lot of money. In fact, that's the year, because other things also happened within the group. We were able to make quite a bit of money. We did 2 Rivers. There we got Old Mutual to come in at $64 million for 50% of 2 Rivers Mall. So good things were happening. So that year, in fact, we had the newspapers put us there because it's the year that they said Centum was awarded what? 1 billion? 1 billion shilling bonus. But we created what? Value. Created value. So, what am I saying? The power of what? Power of multiplication. We made so much money for the shareholders. Even the staff, even their lives changed. The power of what? Multiplication. So, what am I saying? Investing is a big sacrifice. Therefore, demand every shilling or dollar to come back with a reasonable return. Every shilling, every dollar out there that you send, make sure it comes back with what? A reasonable return. There is one thing that nowadays I don't like hearing. If you call me and you tell me you're selling me land, I ask you, is it going to give me money? Am I going to see cash flows next month? I say, no. I say, end of my analysis. It must come back with what? Must come back with returns. And as quickly as possible. So, the power of multiplication. The fourth one and the final one. The power of small beginnings. The power of what? Small beginnings. All of you, you really despised my 1 cent. But it still won at the end of the day. There is a lesson packed in that. Yeah? 1 million shillings versus 1 cent. Let me tell you something very interesting, especially in the banking industry. You see that lady who brings tea in the office? Yeah? And tea is in the house, isn't it? Eh? But she also brings mandazi alongside there. Mandazi is on her, isn't it? Eh? She cooks mandazis, she brings mandazis to the office so that you can have tea and mandazi. And when you don't have money, she'll tell you, I'll give you on. You nilipe end of the month. If you look at the multiplier effect of what she's doing, I can assure you, if you consistently live how you're living and she consistently lives how she's living, 10 years, 20 years from today, it is you who will be asking her for what? For money. Because 1 packet of unga the value is being doubled almost every day. And she's now so comfortable that she's happy to give you on credit, Caroline. Yeah? Please, do not take it from me. I'm not saying don't buy mandazis anymore. Please, buy all the mandazis. But you need to learn from her. The power of what? Small beginnings. The power of small beginnings. Yeah? So, it's not about how much you earn or how much you have. It's about how well you manage what you have. That is the game changer. There are lots of guys who are earning millions of shillings every month, but that money is hitting their hand and living. Yeah? Have you noticed, or is it just me? No matter how much money I have in my M-Pesa, as long as it is in my M-Pesa, it seems to be just flying. Is it just me? Yeah, Jaffa. You have the same experience. It's like the world smells you have money in your M-Pesa. And that also happens with your bank account. If you have a bank account that is fat with idle money, that's when relatives, they remember they have emergencies, all manner of things will just be finding you. And guess what? Money is flying out. And I'm not saying you should not be generous. Please be generous. But not at the expense of your own future. Yeah? So, start small. Start small. There is something I took from Robert Kiyosaki. I believe all of you know Robert Kiyosaki. He said the best businesses are the ones that start with zero capital. Isn't that completely changing the whole idea of business? Yeah, Karanja? We are made to believe that the way to do business, the bigger the capital, the better the business. Actually, it's quite the opposite. And there's a book I want to recommend to all of you to read. It's called Customer Funded Business. Customer Funded Business. If you read that book, the idea of capital will change completely. That the best person to fund your business is your customer, not your investor. If you can capture the customer, the investors will look for you. But how do we do it? We go to the investor to go to the customers. But the investor is saying, show me the customer. And he's saying, no, fund me there and I find the customer. No, go to the customer. And the customer is so good, they'll tell you this product will not work or it will work before you spend too much money. Mtaza. It is so simple. Life is simple. Go to the customer. He knows the truth. Yeah? So, I am a firm believer. Anyone who earns, even if it is 1 shilling, they must do what? They must invest. Pay yourself. Pay yourself first. I did a very interesting exercise more than 10 years ago. I asked myself, all the money that I earn in a year, where does it go to? So I challenged myself. I started putting all my expenses in a spreadsheet. And then I did a very nice pie chart. And the result was shocking. I was so shocked that I work for my landlord, I work for the restaurants around my office, I work for all the supermarkets, but I could not see my name there. And from that day, I changed my perspective. The guy who sweats is me, isn't it? Eh? So after KRA gets their money, who is supposed to get their money next? Me. Put my money, put it in Nabo Capital, and then I say, let's budget with the rest. And that has completely transformed my life and our family. So, as long as you earn, you must invest. So, start investing now with whatever amount you have. No excuses. Please tell your neighbor, no excuses. No excuses. Yours is there. Well done. Well done. So, to conclude, because I don't take we can talk until tomorrow. There is a lot to say, but we must finish somewhere. I want to say something that I deeply believe. Deeply believe. Your job or your business is your side hustle. Your job or the business you do is your side hustle. And your investment portfolio is your what? Is your core business. Is your core business. Do you want me to explain? Can I explain? Yes. Your children will not inherit your job or your title. They will not come to Nabo Capital to say, my dad was a CEO, I want to inherit this job. Even if you own the business, it is very, very unlikely that they'll be the best to run the business. Do you get the point? So the best investment, the best inheritance you can leave your children is cash flows, not assets. Is cash flows not assets. You need to separate these two. And those cash flows are primarily come from your portfolio. I want to elaborate a little bit further. I used to wonder, Dr. Chris Kirubi, how he used to manage to run so many businesses. He has HACO, DHL, Centum, Bayer, International House, and many others. And many others. I used to wonder, how does he run all these businesses? Until I realized, actually, he does not run the businesses. What he runs is his portfolio. His portfolio sits at the center of these businesses. And the businesses feed cash flow to what? To the portfolio, through dividends. So all he does, he monitors, is the cash flow impact into his portfolio. And when he sees a company that is not impacting on his portfolio, that's where he raises most of the questions. The ones which are doing well, he'll say, keep going and keep doing what you're doing. He will encourage them. The ones who are not doing very well, he'll be very much involved to sort out whatever problem is there. So they continue streaming in cash flows into his portfolio. The same thing with Warren Buffett. How many businesses does Warren Buffett own? Warren Buffett is not interested in running all those businesses. What he's really interested is the cash flow that comes from all these businesses. So what they really, really run is the portfolio. And what you should really, really run is your what? Is your portfolio. So I'll say again, your job or your business is your what? Side hustle. And your investment portfolio is your core business. Thank you very much. I want to stop there.